Hello. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create an assignment or an assessment that requires a student to download a pre-existing file, then they'll open it up, fill it out, save it, and then re-upload it to BrainHoney in order to submit the assignment. To get started, you'll see I've already opened a brand new Word document. And we want to be able to create this Word document in such a way that students will find it easy to fill out. So I'll simply begin my Word document by typing in the word name and then a colon, and this will be a space for the student to type their name in. This is going to be very important so that when they submit this file, you'll be able to tell whose paper you are grading. So I'll simply press the Enter key a couple of times to get down here a couple of spaces, and I'm going to enter my first question. Now, when I enter my first question, I'm going to number it with the number 1 and a period. And as soon as I press the space bar, you'll see that Microsoft Word begins formatting this as a numbered list. So that's going to help us out as we enter more questions. Now, this first question I'm going to enter is going to be a question that has a rather long answer. So there is my question. What I'll need to do now is to leave some space for the student to type in the answer. When I press the Enter key, you'll see that Microsoft Word automatically assumes that I am now going to enter a number 2 element in my numbered list. That's not really what I want to do, so I'm going to press Enter again, and you'll see the number disappears, and my cursor now jumps over to the left-hand margin. I'm going to press Enter a couple more times just to leave some additional space for students to type in their answer to this question. Now I'm ready to enter my second question, so I'll type number 2 and period, and once again, as soon as I press the space bar, you'll see that Microsoft Word adds that as a number 2 line in my numbered list. So now I'm going to enter another question. Now in this question, I have an example that I want the students to look at before they answer the question. So once again, I'm going to press the Enter key, but I don't really want this to be the third numbered item in my list. So again, I'll press the Enter key one more time, and now I'm going to enter a formula here that the students will see and then hopefully decipher. So after I finish typing this little formula, I'm going to press the Enter key several times in order to leave a blank space for the student to type in the answer. Now, to get a little bit fancier here, I can actually make this a nicer visual area by inserting something called a text box. So I'll go up to the Insert tab and then go over to the text box command. You want to make sure to click this little down arrow, and it will give you several different kinds of text boxes that you can insert. But we're not going to choose any of those. What I'm going to do is go further down the menu here and choose Draw Text Box. You'll see my cursor now changes into a plus symbol that I can now use to click and drag to draw a box for the students to answer their question in. Now there's another thing you'll want to do before you go on, and that is to perhaps enter some instructions for the students to follow. So I'm going to type this in here. And the one last thing I'm going to do is to click on Text Wrap and make sure that I choose top and bottom. Now, when I click down here, I can go ahead and enter more text without changing the layout of the page. So now I'll go on to question number 3. So now I'll go on to question number 3 by simply typing 3, period, and then a space, and you'll see that Microsoft Word automatically picks up with my numbered list. I'm going to do a slightly different type of a question here that uses a table. So this might be something like record keeping that you want your students to do. So once I've typed in my instructions, I'll go into the Insert menu, and once again I'll go to Table, In this case, I'm going to create a table that is 2 rows by 5 columns. Now you'll notice that, again, Microsoft Word automatically formats each cell in this table as part of your numbered list. You can quickly get rid of that by highlighting those cells, going back to your Home tab, and then click the numbered list icon here to remove those numbers. Now I can go ahead and insert some days of the week. So now all the students need to do is click on these cells and they can enter their daily hours. I'm going to try one more thing here, and in this case I'll add bulleted point number 4. And here's an interesting way to put in a multiple choice question. Now when I finish typing the question and I press enter, once again Microsoft Office thinks I want to go on to number 5, but instead of doing that, at the end of the previous line I'm going to press shift and enter. So this forces your cursor down to the next line without creating a new bulleted point. Now I can put in the answers for my multiple choice question. And I'm using the Tab key to space out the answers. Now I'm going to give the students a little bit of instruction on how to choose the right answer. And I'll just back up to this first line, and in parentheses I'll type highlight the correct answer. And later on I'll show you how the students will respond to this. So there are some tips and suggestions for creating a handout for your Brain Honey assignments and assessments. The last step, of course, is to save this. Now, just to make it easy to find, I'm going to go ahead and save this to the desktop, and it'll be a good idea to give this file a name that represents what this assignment is. I'm just simply going to call this assignment number 1. So now I'm finished creating my worksheet, my handout, my assignment, whatever it is I want to call it. I can go ahead and get out of Word, and now you'll see I am already logged into my Brain Honey course. What I'm going to do is now attach this Word file to an assignment. Here's the assignment I want this file to work with, so I'll simply double click it. The assignment opens, and you'll see I've already given it a title and I've given some instructions to the students on what to do. Now next I'll have to come down here to the bottom of the screen and add an attachment. So now I can upload the file that I just created, so I click on the Upload File tab, click Browse, I'll go to my desktop, and then here on the desktop I should be able to find that Microsoft Word file that I just created. Here it is, so I select it and click Open. Once it's been opened, I click the OK button, or you can also choose to put it in this Course Files folder. Now that that's done, you'll see that this file has been attached to this assignment. But I'm still not quite done yet. What I need to do over here on the right-hand side, under Gradebook Settings, is to provide a student Dropbox. So here under Student Dropbox, I click the down pointing arrow and choose Single Document. So this assignment is going to expect each student to upload their own copy of this single Word file once they've completed it. If you want, you can also set up a rubric in order to score this activity, but we'll save that for a later time. So now that I've got a student Dropbox set up, I've added the attachment, I've entered a title and some instructions, This assignment is now ready. I can click Done. Now let me show you the student's eye view of what this will look like when it's time for them to complete this assignment. So you can see now that I've changed to the student view, so this is what the students will see when they come to this assignment and begin to complete it. Up here you'll see the instructions, and down here you'll see the link that allows me to download and save this file. So when I click on it, it asks me if I want to open it or save it. I'm just going to go ahead and click the Save button, and it's going to go ahead and save it to my Downloads folder. Now I can go ahead and open this folder or simply view the downloads. I'll go ahead and open the folder. There's the assignment. Now I can go start up Word and load this assignment. So here you can see where the downloaded file is. I'm going to go ahead and double click this, and this will automatically open up in Word. Now your students may get a message like you see up here at the top that says this file originated from an internet location and might be unsafe. Click for more details. All the students need to know is that all they need to do is click Enable Editing, and that will now allow them to fill this out. So right at the beginning, this is what the students will do. They'll click here right after the word name and fill in their name. Then they can simply answer the questions by clicking in the space and typing their answers. Now you'll notice that as the students type in, the space will automatically expand to accept their answers. Now for the next question, you'll see I've provided a text box for the students to type their answers in. So all the students need to do at this case is simply click, and if they want, they can highlight this text to replace it, or they can simply just click and begin to enter their answers. Now be careful, if you don't give your students enough space to type in all of their answer, you'll notice that the text actually begins to wrap and may disappear off the bottom of the text block. So make sure your text block is big enough to accommodate the entire answer. Now some of your more savvy students may know enough to click and drag the bottom of this text block to expand it to accommodate the extra text, and as long as you used the wrapping feature I told you about earlier, then the rest of the text in your document should automatically move down to make space for it. Now in the next question, you'll see I've provided the table. Students can simply click in the table and enter the information. And then the last question that I have here, which is a multiple choice question, you'll see I've given the students the option to highlight the correct answer. So all the students will need to do is to click and drag across the correct answer to select it, and simply go up here to the highlighting tool, and they can choose yellow or any other color that they would like to choose, and that's how you indicate the right answer. So as you can see, you can provide a number of different styles of questions. Students can then type in this document. Now when they've finished, what they'll need to do is to save it. Now this is important. You'll need to go to the File tab and choose Save As. This allows you to give this document a different name. Students will want to click on the file name and then add their name to the file name. This way you'll know which documents are coming from which students. So now I'll go ahead and save this, and in fact I think I'm going to save this right on my desktop to make it easy to find. Now I can close this document and submit it to BrainHoney. Okay, now you can see I've switched to the student view and I've gone to the assignment. When I come to this assignment window, the students will now click the Open button. They can click here and attach a note. And here is where they click in order to upload the Word file that they've filled out. So I'll go ahead and click Browse. Again, I should find the new copy of the document that I created and added my name to down here. This was the original unfilled out assignment. This is the one that I filled out and added the first and last name to. So now I go ahead and choose that, click open, and then when I come back to my Brain Honey window, you'll notice that there are two different options here, save and submit. The Save button will save this document on the Brain Honey server, but it is not submitted for a grade. So be sure that your students click the Submit button so that the assignment will actually be handed in. At this point, it says, "Are you sure you want to submit this assignment?" I say yes. It has now been successfully submitted, as you can see. I can click OK, and now I am finished with this assignment. Now let me switch back to the teacher view of this course. Now when I come to the gradebook screen, we'll see that this document does still need grading, so if I click on its icon, I can now come to where it says here Student Document, and if I hover over it, you'll even see the name of the file. So I will click on this. Again, I have the option to open this up. I'll just go ahead and click Open. Word automatically starts up and will now open this document that the student uploaded in order to hand in. So once the teacher has downloaded the copy of the file that the student has completed, they can now open it up in Word and review it and grade it. If I switch back to Brain Honey, I can now simply enter the grade for this project right here. Click Submit Score, and your grading is finished. So I hope this gives you an overall view on how you can create a handout or a worksheet or some form for a student to fill out, upload it to Brain Honey, make it part of an assignment, then you've seen how the student downloads it, fills it out, saves it, and then re-uploads it in order to hand it in. Once that's happened, the student or the teacher then reopens the document in order to grade it and then enters the grade in the grade book.